Hey, I'm Abby and welcome back to the Life Work Balance YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about the 4 strategies that I would use if I was thrown a curveball question during an interview. Now, these are questions that are still relevant to the job that you're applying to, not those crazy out of the blue questions that you can't really figure out what their intentions are. Examples of those will be for a different video, but these are for questions that are relevant to the job that you're applying to, related to the work that you would do, where you just are stumped or you have no idea how you might answer. Before we jump into that, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you're looking forward to learning my strategies for how you can approach these curveball questions. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can continue to receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every week. Let's set the scene a little bit. You're in an interview, things are going really well, and they throw you a question, whether it's a behavior-based or situation-based question, or even a technical question that just feels like a total curveball from left field. You are stumped. You're not sure how to answer it. You might not have experience in that certain area. Your brain just starts spinning. What do you do? Well, I have 4 strategies for you to help yourself answer this type of question when you feel completely unprepared for it. The very first strategy is to take a pause and take a deep breath. Taking a breath to collect your thoughts is a great strategy to help calm your nervous system. Having a question come from out of nowhere that feels like a curveball that you're not expecting to answer can immediately send your nervous system into overdrive. You might start to get sweaty palms. You might just start sweating in general. Your heart rate might increase. So taking a breath helps you regain control over that nervous system. Taking a deep breath also allows you an opportunity to start clearing your mind so that you can give a very thoughtful and confident response. You do not need to feel pressured to immediately answer this question. Instead, you can take that deep breath and then let the interviewer know that you would like a few moments to gather your thoughts so that you can give the most thoughtful, well thought out response for this question. By sharing your intention to take a few moments to gather your thoughts, it shows that you are self-aware, that you are intentional about the situations or scenarios that you're choosing to share when it comes to your responses to interview questions, and it also demonstrates your confidence. So it is perfectly acceptable to take a moment, take a deep breath, collect your thoughts, and then respond to this question that you were not expecting. The second strategy that you can use when you are given a curveball question is to ask clarifying questions to ensure that you're going to fully answer the question as it relates to what the interviewer is expecting from you. You want to ensure that you are providing a full response to this question that doesn't leave any gaps or questions for the interviewer wondering if you are a good fit for this role. In fact, asking clarifying questions is a great way to demonstrate what an effective employee you will be if you were given this role. People who don't ask questions and just roll with what their first assumptions or their first thoughts oftentimes make mistakes and find out that what they are thinking is different than what other people are thinking. So it is perfectly acceptable and actually preferred to ask some clarifying questions to ensure that you are on the same page as the interviewer. Sometimes that's the point of the question altogether. They might ask you a question that seems really straightforward, but if you don't ask clarifying questions, you could go in a completely different direction than what they are anticipating. The point may be to see if you will ask those clarifying questions to ensure that you have enough data at the beginning to give a well-informed, thoughtful response. My third strategy is to just think out loud and really involve the interviewer in your inner problem-solving process. This showcases your problem-solving skills in real time, which will be critical for the interviewer to be able to evaluate your fit for the role. You might even have an opportunity to turn this question into a discussion with the interviewer. So it becomes more of a collaborative process rather than you just reciting an answer to an interview question. When you think out loud, you can draw on your previous experiences. What has worked well for you in the past? What things have been successes for you? What things haven't worked as well that you might be willing to try again? how you might involve other people in the decision-making or collaboration process. So think out loud. Share your problem-solving process with the interviewer in the moment. Now, you don't have to blatantly say, I don't know, I've never encountered that before, or I've never handled a situation like that before. Instead, you can say, if I was approached with a problem, or if I was faced with a situation like this, here's how I would begin my problem-solving process. And these are the resources that I would tap into or reach out to or utilize to help me solve this problem or approach this problem. Involve the interviewer in your thought process. Think out loud. Maybe even involve them in the discussion. And then finally, my fourth strategy for how to handle a curveball question is to focus on what you do know rather than what you don't know. So even if you haven't encountered this type of situation, scenario, or problem in the past, you likely have skills and experience that is relevant or related to this type of situation or problem. So you can tap into the things that have worked for you in the past, the successes you've had, the things that you already know how to do to help you approach solving or answering this question. Now, most interviewers understand that you aren't going to be the person who can do everything. They can't do everything. So what's better is instead of trying to fake your way through answering a question and giving examples to things that aren't true to try to impress the interviewer, instead, show them your problem-solving skills. Focus on the things that you have done in the past that have helped you be successful and how you think it could translate into you being successful for this hypothetical question that they've given you during the interview. So focus on what you do know to help you find a solution. This taps back into that third strategy, which is thinking out loud and maybe even involving the interviewer in your problem-solving process. If you're interviewing for this job, you have already overcome many of the barriers to actually being hired into the role. Your application and application materials were impressive enough to demonstrate that you have the qualities, the skills, the education, the experience, the characteristics to be effective in this role, to be successful in this role. So even though they may have thrown this curveball question out there, you can use the strategies of taking a deep breath, asking clarifying questions, thinking out loud, and focusing on what you do know to find a solution to help yourself answer these types of curveball questions in the moment without getting too flustered and doing so in a successful, effective, confident way. If you would like more one-on-one help preparing for your upcoming interviews or even reviewing your job application materials for a job that you're really excited about, reach out to me today. I offer one-on-one coaching sessions for interview strategy sessions and even application material reviews every week on a very limited basis. My spots and time are limited for these one-on-one coaching sessions, so if this is something of interest to you where you want to show up as your best self, as your favorite version of yourself for this potential interview and this job, please reach out to me today. I've linked to my email as well as my website in the description box below, and I would love to set up a session with you as soon as possible. Remember, my sessions are limited, so as soon as you have a job that you're excited to apply to or an interview that is coming up, let me know because I would love to help you through the preparation process. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas on these types of curveball questions and how you've handled them in the past, or what has worked for you or what hasn't worked for you, please throw them in the comments box below. I love receiving comments, and just know that if I'm not able to get back to you directly or immediately, your comments will likely help and even inspire someone who's watching this video in the future. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can continue to receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.